Non-Americans of Reddit, what's something someone can say that indirectly screams, I'm an American? The college experience MM/DD/EI saying, sophomore, senior, etc. It was 90 degrees outside. I hope that is a reasonable number. Why didn't you leave a tip? I was taking a walking tour in Ireland once and the guide mentioned Notre Dame for some reason. This American guy tried to correct her pronunciation as Notre Dame, not Notre Dame. It was a wildly uncomfortable few minutes. This is an excellent chat on how not to look like a tourist lol. I am taking notes lol. Depends on what state you're in. I drove myself to the hospital recommending a brand of medication. Thinking I have a British accent, I'm Aussie asking for ranch dressing. Whenever I hear mirror instead of mirror. Based on my own experience as an American abroad. Realizing that other countries don't have donut shops open for breakfast, because donuts aren't a breakfast food. Excessive usage of bumper stickers when they are seeking help on Reddit, and their country/region is a required piece of information for the particular question. They usually don't specify that they live in America. They just assume everyone else in the sub is American. I think I've never seen any individual from any other nationality do that. European friend. Why do you guys drive so much? Such a waste of gas. American. I'm usually not in the mood to spend over an hour to get eggs from the store. European friend. Then why don't you move closer to where everything is? American. Then I won't have money for those eggs. Red. Solo. Cups. I've been employed for 90 days, so I can finally sign up for insurance. School spirit! Exclamation. I work in an international school with lots of American colleagues. The expectation to be excited about everything is a lot, but I see why it would be infectious if you were brought up in the States. I do like when the European teachers are all grouped together awkwardly not knowing what to do with the spirit and cheer. Checking someone's profile online and finding at least one of the following statements. Asterisk their faith. Asterisk their race. Asterisk their ethnicity. Also when people talk to an active or retired soldier and start their conversation with thanks for your service. I've been living in the States for over a decade. I bought my mom this cleaning product that was cinnamon and clove scented, and I told her it smelled like Christmas. She just looked at me weird and said, wow, I guess you really are an American now, when they say everyone else has an accent and they do not. Starbucks, then go to Target, then Home Depot asking about/knowing one's credit score cookout. I ask for ice in every goddamn beverage. I've gotten some eye rolls when I was stationed in Yongsan, South Korea. I had to take part in what was known as town patrol. Basically we wrangled up drunk soldiers who were out past curfew. You could usually tell an American soldier from any of the other folks hanging around. For those that have never been, Yongsan is in the middle of Seoul, one of the biggest cities in the world, and a melting pot of culture. Most younger American soldiers usually ran around wearing hoodies with various American sports teams, kind of a dead giveaway. It's even funnier when they try to fake a British accent and don't know any British slang to go with it. Calling women ma'am and men sir in normal conversation. Wearing clothing with the name of a president/presidential candidate outside of election day. As an American I go out of my way to put on my best clothes and a full beat every time I go out, just so I'm not immediately identified as a tourist rube. Then I remember I'm fat and the jig is up. I think I'll use my credit card. I was wearing sandals at a Norwegian party and one of the other people was like, that's so American. I need to postpone my surgery because money is tight right now. This weird assumption that the Constitution is some kind of globally recognized universal charter of legislation. Other countries have their own constitutions, even the developed ones, and they differ from the American one. Your arguments about my constitutional rights don't hold when you're taking a piss at a bar in Norway. I'm American, but there's a story here that would apply. I moved to Taiwan when I was in middle school. Since my parents were Taiwanese, I grew up speaking Mandarin, and it didn't take a long time for me to shake off the American accent when speaking. Initially, people would be like, "Oh, an American," when I said literally anything, but gradually, it turned into, "Oh, you're American," and eventually, people stopped even bringing it up. Then one day, we went to a new doctor's office to get updates on our vaccines. The doctor was very polite and professional. We chatted a bit, she stuck me with a needle and started filling out some paperwork, and she asked, "Are you getting these shots because you're returning to America?" And I was shook. Hadn't heard that question in years, not from a stranger. I said, "Oh man, yeah, that's right, I'm getting ready to travel again. What gave me away?" And she responded, "Americans, when you prick them, they say oh. Taiwanese locals say ah. That always gives them away." First time I heard about fried butter, I thought it was a joke about how Americans enjoy super caloric and / or greasy food. Then I learned it's actually a thing, and apparently it's very tasty. I saw someone on r/history memes say that 1864, I think, was the worst year in human history because it was the height of the American Civil War. ****. Edit. Dates. When you are on a trip and ask someone where they are from, they usually answer with their country first. "I'm from France," "I'm from Colombia," etc. If someone answers with something weirdly specific like "I'm from place in the area county, close to town they are from the US. Bonus, America, if the fella gets a bit offended you don't know where their town is. Usually when someone says you're asking, on Reddit, where to buy something, but not indicating what country they are from. Doing this screams they are from the USA. E2. Apparently some people are becoming offended by this answer. The question is, what's something someone can say that indirectly screams, "I'm an American"? This comment is my answer to that question. Not a complaint, an observation and response. I'm driving a manual. Any comment about 1 hospital bills, or 2 gun rights / gun ownership? Also, 3 Fahrenheit. Using ma'am, miss and sir. None of my customers use it except Americans. Edit. Wow, thanks for the upvotes. I totally do not deserve it. On Canada Day Americans like to come north either to visit friends / family, or to party. You can always tell who the Americans are by how much of their clothing is covered in maple leaves. The more articles of clothing the more likely they are to be American. Oh, I'm Irish. My great 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 grandfather ate a fucking potato once. When Americans reply to a photo of a tweet that stated in a DD/MM/EI system claiming the tweet is fake because they think everyone exclusively uses MM/DD/EI, not realizing they are in the minority. Cool, thanks man, see ya later to your cashier upon leaving. I'm 1/3 Irish on my mother's side. America is the world, duh. And they just use an American location /state abbreviation. American. I'm in car. Rest of the world. Where the fuck is CA? Canada. Only being able to go to certain doctors / hospitals because your insurance is not accepted at all of them. I know someone who had to drive 45 min while in labor because the doctor that accepted her insurance was only at that hospital. The fact that this is normal in the US boggles my mind. American flag clothes. A conversation about tipping. A tip is appreciated in the rest of the world, but people in the hospitality industry here, Europe, and specifically the Netherlands, make a decent living while serving you a meal or coffee. Decent enough not to be dependent on tips. When asked where they are from. Australian. I'm from Australia British. I'm from the UK Indian. I'm from India Chinese. I'm from China. American. I'm from Wisconsin.